I have here in my hand a compass, which can be useful on journeys, specifically the hero's journey. Now, through the ages, many people have written about storytelling, specifically about the structure of storytelling. Aristotle, a Greek philosopher, was probably the first, and we could also call him the first binge watcher. He used to love going to theatre plays, and there were many theatre festivals in those days, and he saw so many plays that at one point he started to be able to predict how a play was going to end. Now keep in mind, he hadn't seen these particular plays before. How could this be? Aristotle noticed that certain plays kept to certain structuring principles. There were sort of laws, sort of guidelines that were guiding the way the story was going to end up. He noticed this, and through the ages many people have added to his work, expanded his work, I could say, such as the American Joseph Campbell, and quite recently Christopher Vogler. What they've written about has now come to be known as the hero's journey, a golden standard in structuring storytelling. So let's look at this hero's journey, guided by our compass. The hero's journey consists of 12 steps or stages. The first stage is the ordinary world. We meet our hero, our main character, whether it's a he or a she, in their natural habitat, as it were. We see what their normal lives look like. Then comes the call to adventure, stage 2. They notice that something is wrong, or that something is lacking, or has been wrong for a while, and now they need to go on an adventure to change this. Stage 3 then is what is perhaps recognizable. Let's say it's your ordinary world, it's the morning, and your alarm clock goes off. You have to go to work, you have to go study. What do? You hit the snooze button, right? That's what I do. We refuse the call. That is stage 3, refusal of the call. You don't want to go on an adventure because you might not feel secure that you're up to the task. But then stage 4, there is a meeting with the mentor. Someone comes along to guide the hero on their quest. Having met the mentor, the hero is now ready to enter this special world. Stage 5, crossing the threshold. They're really going to solve the problem now. But first, stage 6, there are tests, allies and enemies. See if they can actually prove themselves. There might be friends along the way, there might be enemies. Stage 7 then is the approach to the inmost cave. The hero is now close to facing the problem for real. Stage 8 then, naturally, is the ordeal. Actually trying to solve the problem, but this time around, failing. In the final 4 stages, the hero needs to finally solve the problem for real. Stage 9 is the reward. They have gained some insight, some experience into how to solve the problem this time around. So stage 10, the road back, is them accepting that there is no going back. They need to face the villain first, solve the problem, and then they can go back. So we have stage 9, the reward, stage 10, the road back. Stage 11 is called resurrection. In this, the hero seems to die. They have to give up their former selves, psychological growth there, and then face the villain, solve the problem. Stage 12 finally is them going home, the return with the elixir, and the elixir here being that they have grown as a person. Now that you know the 12 stages of the hero's journey, you might be ready for an adventure of your own. But, warns your mentor, don't forget that it is a descriptive theory at first. It started out as Aristotle, as Joseph Campbell, writing down the ingredients that they noticed in many stories. It wasn't supposed to be a recipe. So please don't treat it as a recipe. You can use it, but you don't have to. Your story doesn't have to adhere to the hero's journey. In fact, recently Jeff Gomez has come up with the idea of a collective journey that might even supplant the hero's journey as the golden standard in structuring. We don't know, but keep an open mind. In the meanwhile, thank you for your interest in this compass. As always, good choice. I'll write you a receipt, and thank you for shopping at Story Supplies.